Welcome, fellow chosen ones, to another video. In this one, I'm talking about Miguel's new journey in Season 5. If it's your first time here, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you jump in the comment section down below. Let me know if you agree with any of the points that I raise. And we're marching forward to 7K over here. So if you love all things Cobra Kai and you love everything pop culture in general, you're in the right place. Now, delving into the subject matter at hand. And I've touched upon this a lot, about how people aren't really understanding Miguel's arc and why it played out the way it did. And I remember saying a lot before Season 4 even dropped, don't be surprised if there's some kind of contrived reason as to why Miguel has to exit the All Valley. And lo and behold, as shocking as the moment was, you know, I kind of saw it coming a mile off. You know, he's just fresh from injury. It was inevitable that this was going to happen. And I'm all about the foundation of the narrative in which the show pretty much sets itself. And the show has stakes, regardless of how, you know, quote-unquote corny or cheesy the show can sometimes be. The show does have stakes, it does have gravity. So when something, see what I did there, has gravity. So i.e. when Miguel had his injury at the end of Season 2, it's not like he just got back to walking again in Season 3 and now he's back to his best. No. What I love is that, yeah, he may be walking, but it's a miracle that he's walking. The fact that he even made it as far as he did in the All Valley was a feat in and of itself. You know, you got to realize it's not that far removed from the injury, which was literally not that long ago. And I think Season 5 is going to have so much more in store for him. And what's going to happen is you're going to see a bonding. You're going to see a bonding of Sam and Tory. You're going to see a bonding of Robby and Miguel. It's been coming for ages. But just in Miguel's kind of isolated arc, I think Miguel's going to go on a journey of discovery, really questioning who he is. And for the first few seasons, Miguel's never really questioned that kind of philosophical aspect to himself. It's more of been, you know, how can I be badass? How can I overcome my fears? How can I overcome this? You know, how can I be a positive influence to those around me? And how can I never give in to fear? But now that we've chipped away at Miguel for a whole 2 seasons now, since the end of Season 2, you know, and even in Season 2 there was things that tested Miguel. I think it's all roads have led to this. All roads have led to this moment here where Miguel goes on a journey of discovery, of really finding out who he is, but not just who he is, who he wants to be. And I think that's what Season 4's finale is indicative more of than anything, is these kids are going to make the conscious choice. And I link it all the way back to something Tanner said in an interview before Season 4 dropped. He said that Robby makes the choice in that situation that determines his future. And we now know that Robby comes home. So that means, in my eyes, that you could apply that to the rest of these characters. That Tory is now going to undergo, you know, a serious arc, especially with the benefit of Miyagi-Do. You're going to see how Sam evolves as a character, and then how Miguel evolves as a character. And instead of people telling them who they should be, because that's what the show has been from the beginning, is all these senseis and all these adults telling all these kids who they should be. And what's going to happen is they're going to choose for themselves. They're going to make that decision themselves, and they're going to choose who they want to be. They're going to pick their path. And Robby's path is now redemption. Tory's path has been set up to, you know, make amends with Sam and quite literally, you know, resolve all that she's done wrong. And then Sam's arc will be coming to terms with her legacy, embracing Miyagi-Do to another level, and then really defining, even though, you know, Miyagi is Miyagi, Daniel isn't Miyagi, and Sam isn't Daniel. You know, they are different versions of themselves, and they're unique to themselves in that way, and it's all about the evolution of that. I might have to do a video talking a little bit about that as well. But with Miguel's journey, I think it's going to be very emotionally charged, and I think it's going to be a simple situation where Miguel goes looking for his father, and this is why I stand by this. Me personally, I think yes, his father will appear in some way, shape or form, but if it was up to me, I wouldn't have his father appear at all, because I think it's so much more powerful that in an effort to go and find his father, he never does, and his real father, Johnny Lawrence, comes to get him. Because then it's going to be a case of, you know, Johnny trying to make amends for how he inevitably caused what he didn't want to happen, essentially. That he had the Tony Stark effect there of, you know, pushing Miguel away when in an effort to avoid it, he ended up creating it, if that makes sense. So I think it's so powerful to have Johnny go all the way to Mexico to find Miguel, and Robby to follow suit as well. Like, there's going to be so many moving pieces this season, where Season 3 needed to shake things up a little, just to spice up the show a little bit. But I think Season 5 is really going to be the massive shake-up. And Season 3 shook things up in terms of where the characters were in dojos. I think Season 5 is going to shake things up in terms of where the characters go in the story. And I think Miguel is key to that. If you can trace it right back to the beginning of the show. Miguel is the centerpiece at all of this. Everything revolves around Miguel. Every single character is connected through Miguel. Every single plot point, every single story element is connected to him. And dare I say it, Season 3 coma, like when he was in the coma, that coma dream sequence of Miguel, that's probably Miguel in his peak. Like, that's where Miguel will be. And for me, because I know the weird stans, and yes, I said it, the weird stans in the comment section will always say, hey, Team Robby, Team Miguel. That's not important here. What's important here is what is the story trying to convey. And at the end of the day, Miguel is now gearing up for a journey where he will get a massive win in Season 5. And his win will not be silverware. It will be an emotional win. It'll be a win that is more important than a trophy. And that's something that Johnny will come to realize, is that he was never defined by a trophy. That's something Kreese is now realizing. That's something Tory will realize. Silverware is only as important as you make it to be. Yes, it's great, we would all like to be first place, but you are not defined by a trophy that you lost when you were a kid. Just because you came second place that one time doesn't mean you can't win at life. And there's a great quote in Coach Carter that could apply here. You found something that people go their whole lives without ever having found. It's something along those lines. Like, that could be the real theme of this season. And it's not stuff that I'm, pulling out of my behind. It's stuff that I feel is very quantifiable based on where these characters are going. And I think Miguel is going to be amazing next season. And it's only made possible by this season. The way this season played out, it had to happen this way for Season 5 to be possible. There's certain things where you may not like Miguel being sidelined, but it was a necessary evil in order to ensure that Season 5 gives him this fulfilling arc. Because even though he was sidelined in Season 4, quote unquote, he was still relevant. It's not like they just completely shoved him to the side. But you have to understand, it's all about the narrative and the foundation of the show, where he's hurt. He's the fact that this dude's walking again, that's a miracle in and of itself. But Season 5 is prepping him for an amazing journey. I can't wait to see it unfold. And, Sholo is Blue Beetle now, so he really gets to show his acting chops on an even grander stage. And Mazel Tov, raise a toast in the comment section to our boy Sholo. Miguel will have an amazing arc next season, because this season made it possible. Guys and girls, jump in the comment section down below. Let me know if you agree with any of the points that I raised in this video. And, comment down below, what do you think is in store for Miggy next season? Do you agree with me that Season 4 needed to happen to set this up, or do you think they could have balanced it better? And remember, keep it civil down there. You don't need a mudsling. We can all keep it a bit balanced and a bit fair. But guys and girls, I'll see you in another video soon. We march forward to 7K. And this weekend, we'll be talking Doctor Strange 2 spoilers. So, can't wait for that. Cannot wait for that. And frankly, the multiverse is a concept about which we know frighteningly little. Imagine if there was a Cobra Kai multiverse.